Is everyone ready to begin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You sure?
Oh my god. Very
Okay.
good.
So,
Here's the door.
as we get ready to begin, let's recap what happened last time. So last time we left off, you guys had found yourselves in a bit of a sticky situation. Dante, you had met with the woman Maddie Neelan after she was given to a contact by you from Will Elledge. This woman seems to have a bit of a grudge with Mr. Grace. Quite a lot of a grudge, in fact. Seems she was fucked over by him in previous work and is now gunning out for vengeance or just to get rid of him. You're not sure. What you do know about her is that she's rather wild, and that when you met her, she was pointing a shotgun right at Nahia's chest. Unimpressed, Nahia didn't really seem bothered by this because she knows she's Nahia. She's not bothered. You spoke, discussed some things, and decided to meet at a local diner known as Lily's Place. You headed off there, alerted Ned Halford, who had spent pretty much most of his time just chilling in his house and investigating some of his own private little things. You met in the diner, while at the same time across the town, Elizabeth Weiss was stuck in a car with a man who called himself Professor Niles. Professor Niles, however, proved to be not quite what he said he was. After stepping out of the car and shooting down a bunch of people, getting back into the car and driving off with Elizabeth, he started to speak with her, tell her about how his wife had died, how terribly sorry he was that he was going to have to do what he did have to do. He then pulled the car up to the edge of a cliff, got out, and sat admiring the view. The city of Ullmanoch way in the distance from this side of Kingstown. The many lights of the city blending with the pure black sky. The stars kind of melding with the lights and making it hard to tell where the sky ended and the land began. And then there was the water, dark and churning, like some raging beast trying to break free of its cage. Elizabeth stepped out, spoke with Niles, and after binding her in ribbons, Niles suspended her above the cliff and dropped her to her death. And then there was water. Black and cold water. And I'm not quite sure what happened next. There's a young boy sitting in a caravan in the middle of America. He's watching TV while his dad smacks his mum across the back of the head and calls her an idiot and asks her to get him another beer. Dante is a little boy in England, being beaten up, his bloody nose pooling onto the ground as the boys mock him for his weird name. Maddie Neelan watches as the car is put together piece by piece, a little girl, her brain only starting to understand the inner workings of it. Nahia. The first time she holds a rugby ball as a little girl, and running out and for the first time feeling in control. And a little girl outside a burning car. years later she will paint and paint again, various different things, and always she will see in her paintings that same fire, that wreckage. It will stay with her for a very long time. And I'm not sure what happened next. But there was a dog. And there was a feather. And it didn't happen the way it was meant to. Because Elizabeth Weiss didn't die. Elizabeth Weiss woke up in the arms of her wife, lying on her bed, the bed and mattress soaked through with salt water, cascading over the sides. She stings like someone who has taken a dive in the sea and come crawling right out of it again. And right opposite her bed is a churning black painting. A painting she tried to draw a while back that came out as water. Elizabeth's wife holds her, one hand extended towards the painting, one hand gripping her lover's shoulder. And she says, "Never again. Never." And she holds you. And as she holds you, she cries. As the water soaks into the floorboards and ruins the carpet of your lovely bedroom. What are you thinking, Elizabeth?
Elizabeth isn't really thinking anything right now. She's holding Allison and she also starts to cry.
You hold her and you realize how cold you are and how warm she is. Your arms are pale against hers, but the warmth of her begins to fill you, and slowly you start shaking, shivering from the cold. Allison, being a doctor, puts you to bed, makes you take off those wet clothes, gets you under the covers, gets you warm, brings you hot water bottles, and looks after you as the shaking begins to slowly subside. At some point, you cough up a mouthful of salt water, and you throw up a bit more. And before you can stop yourself, you have slipped off into dreams. These dreams are the most vicious ones you've encountered in a while. Cruel and taunting, they drag you from moment to moment to moment, forcing you to relive everything that you have caused. Your parents' death, your foster parents' death, your patron's death. All of them spread out, the many paintings filling a gallery that can be endless. And then the dog is with you. He's patient, by your side. Every now and again you feel the warmth of him, of his nose nuzzling against your hand. And you go back to each moment. It wasn't you that crashed the car. It was the old brake tire. It was the old brake lines. It was the moment your dad looked away. It was the confusion of the driver coming in the opposite direction, whose phone had just buzzed in his pocket. It wasn't you that killed your mentor. It was bad health and years of drinking and some mistakes along the way. And as you go through, you realize it was never you. You just were unlucky enough to be there. The dreams begin to ease, their viciousness sliding away, the coldness of the knives into your brains becoming just a gentle, wet emptiness. The dog is with you, though. As you fade into darkness, what are your last thoughts before you go to sleep?
self-pity.
You curl up around the pillow in real life and around the dog in your dreams. And there is darkness. And there is, for the first time, a bit of peace. We leave Elizabeth there, the camera spanning out. Alison slumped in the sofa, in the chair beside her bed, not leaving it. And we jump across the town, still sparkling in the night. Far, far off to the sort of western side, just in the countryside, a car is driving its way back. It had left with 2 passengers, and now it returns with 1. The man driving alone tries not to feel guilty. He's done this drive so many times before. He's had this experience so many times before, and it's best just to stop thinking about it. And he drives home. Meanwhile, in the middle of Russet Way, a couple of people are sitting in a diner. People who have not known each other too long, but have grown to have some sort of let's say begrudging acceptance of one another to a degree. I don't know if that's the right word for certain people in this group. I'll just say a group of friendly strangers are in a diner. Would one of you like to give me a monologue, please?
If no one goes, I'll go. Okay. Dante's sitting at the table beside Maddie Nayland, opposite Nahia and Ned Halford. He's motionless, disregarding the surface of his cup of tea, almost a statue himself. In his mind are the faces of people who, for some god-awful reason, decided to rely on him. Ned, what does he see when he looks at me? Somebody who can come to his rescue. Nahia, somebody who can come to the rescue of her friend, secure his freedom. Miss Nayland beside me. She probably sees somebody who could secure her freedom. Maybe try. Hound saw somebody he was terrified of. I look in the mirror and every day I see a failure. See, they don't understand. It's not that I'm not afraid of anything. It's that the things I'm afraid of are so simple that all of them are overlooking it. I think about Elizabeth and where she must be at the moment. She's missed some calls. I need to find her. She's the only one I can really rely on in this group.
As you think about the phone, by the way, just very briefly, cutting across, you see Alison, who, unable in the sort of the tension of this moment, unable to do anything that she is otherwise being trained to do, which is to just think practically and keep doing a job, has an old waterlogged phone that she has pulled from Elizabeth's pocket and is putting it in a bowl of rice. Just because she doesn't have any other thing to do right now other than have something to do. Back in the diner, Dante, you look from person to person as you think this.
I don't need to look at them to think this.
Okay, you just think this.
I know that last time Elizabeth missed calls, she was in the middle of a panic attack. Now I don't know what's happening today, what has happened today to elicit anything. But I still have a few things to say before I go look for her.
as you think across the table from you, Maddie Nealon is finishing off and licking the last bit of chocolate of the Everest chocolate cake from a knife and fork, whilst Ned is finishing off delicately his single brownie. What do you guys say to one another?
Oh, that was a good one. I'm gonna be coming here more often.
Dante gets out the burner from his pocket, puts it on the table, says, "This is a prepaid phone. I assume I don't need to explain what it is to you, Miss Nail."
No, not at all.
Nahia, we bought those together.
Mm-hmm.
Buy these in bulk.
Oh,
You
I've
know,
already got them.
This speech is not for you.
Ah.
We no longer communicate on our normal phones. We schedule a meeting, buy these, then we get together and we talk in person. The people we're up against have resources that far exceed ours. We need to stay quiet. Anything we say in public, they may overhear, so we need to be careful with that. Job number 1, we'll figure out what the fuck is up with those statues, so we can get Grace off your back, and we finish this case. Number 2, he looks specifically at Nahia, sort of ignoring Halford. You keep Alex Piper alive. You keep Alex Piper alive until we figure out how to deal with this condition. Now, by my assumption, he still has 2 seeds inside him, and if we bring him back, he'll die on the spot. So we need to find out how to extract them, either while he's in statue form, or as soon as we bring him out. Before we do that, he's vulnerable. He's our only witness now here. He's the person who induced Daniel to kill Amy. He's the only one who can testify.
What's the situation right now? Just to fill me in.
We got a name from Elledge. Edith Cole. Edith Cole is a woman who, by Elledge's suspicion, faked her own death and lives somewhere near university. She has a vested interest in the artifacts in the university's vault. And so does the person who owns the artifacts. And so does Mr. Grace. We need to understand what the fuck is going on. She's the only party we know of that isn't directly involved in the conflict against us, so we need to find her and speak to her.
Right.
Dante starts getting up. He hasn't touched his black tea at all. I'm gonna go find Elizabeth.
Okay.
Maddie's going to finish your black tea.
That's all right.
It's pretty bitter.
Good enough.
As he gets up, he'll say one thing. A minute of your time, Miss Nayland.
Yeah, of course. She gets up as well. Follows him.
Yeah, Dante holds the door open for you. As we get out, he stands beside you and says, takes a cigarette, lights it up, says, "Here's the thing. My help is not conditional.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna help you get rid of your leash. What you choose to do with that is up to you. I'm not gonna extort or blackmail or demand anything in return."
That is a welcome. So that's very good to hear. But you sure about that?
Mm-hmm.
It seems awfully easy to just do this, you know?
It's not easy. It's gonna be fucking terribly difficult, isn't it?
Right. So
Then he turns to you and says, "I'm nobody's fucking lackey. Nor do I
Right.
need any of my own."
yeah, same. That's what I thought as well until Grace happened.
He twists your arm. He makes you do the work for him.
Yeah.
It doesn't make you beholden to him.
Yeah. You know...
We'll talk more later. Sorry.
Right. Anything I can help with?
Edith Cole. You three need to find Edith Cole. I'm gonna look for Elizabeth.
I mean, do you have a car?
No. I'm
We
going
could
to
drive
go
for
to the
that.
university. Start there. I'd appreciate it. But
Nice.
he kind of looks back at the diner and says, stick with them. I get there by bus.
Sure. Edith Cole, you said.
Edith Cole. She's supposed to be dead, but Ellich suspects she isn't. However you find her, don't make so much noise that people know we're looking for her.
Ooh. That's going to be difficult, but I'll try my best.
Alright.
I'm not really a very quiet person.
Yeah. Neither of us are. Been fucking amateur hour for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, good luck with the Elizabeth situation.
Alright.
You've got my number for now. And,
Dante
like-
will leave one burner phone for Nahia and one for Ned, but he understands, like, just there on the table, but he understands that, like, Ned goes through phones like mad. He needs to buy them in bulk.
Right then.
Okay, yeah.
I'll see you soon. Maddie goes back into the building towards the others.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is Pedro still there?
Pedro is, yeah, he's the limo is not like straight in front of the building. It's a little way off, like on the other side, because he usually waits for Ned to call him.
I'll come up to the driver's window and just do a little gesture as if to like roll the thing down.
He rolls it down, and you see that Pedro is sitting there with a newspaper open, and he's sort of like looking a little bit nervous. He closes the newspaper and sort of looking. Hello.
Pedro?
See? Yes?
I wanted to apologize for my behavior last time.
Okay.
You were on the receiving end of my ire, and you didn't deserve any of it.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
What is ire?
Anger.
Okay.
Frustration.
See. Okay. Okay. Mr. Dante? See, okay.
You stay safe, mate.
He sort of does a half kind of smile and nods and sort of very slowly sort of opens his newspaper again. And you can see that he's reading about the latest scandal with Xavier Lowe.
Zandalo.
Zandalo, sorry. There we go. Brain.
Yeah, I just go find the bus and get onto the university afterward.
Okay. You head off to the back in the diner. Nahia, Maddie, and Ned. What are you three doing?
As Maddie walks in, you can see that Ned has signed a photo of himself that he just had ready and put it on the wall along with the other celebrities that you said that were on the wall.
There's two or three celebrities there, and you can see that they're so unfamous that a number of them have had to have like who they are written beneath them. Like one of them is like, this person was in EastEnders and died on the first episode they were in. But yeah, you write your autograph and put it up onto the wall. The waitress doesn't seem to notice at the moment, but yeah.
I put like a little message, try the brownies, they're great, or something like that.
So you carry pictures of yourself? Yeah, no, I'm not gonna ask. Of course you do.
Yeah, just in the coat pocket, you know. In case a small child wants one, you know.
He's Ned Halford, of course he does.
Yeah.
So as I put it on the wall, I hear the bell ring and I go, Maddie's like, Okay, so now that he's gone, who are you really?
Well, I'm Eddie Nealon. I'm someone who has been looking into the whole statue situation. It's yeah, kind of just for didn't he fill you in?
He's you know, his moods that he gets into. Or I guess you don't. You're new here.
I
Anyway,
don't know him very well, no.
anyway,
Right.
what's the lead? He's the detective of the group.
Exactly, some Edith Cole who is interested in the statues, but was supposed to be dead, apparently isn't. I take it you know more about this, Nahia?
I know about as much as Ned.
Right.
But dead person supposed to be dead apparently isn't is certainly a new one to cross off the bingo card.
I mean, I've heard stranger things.
I love that show. I was almost on that. Did I ever tell you? Anyway, well,
Really?
I think the first place to visit would be the cemetery. Let's take the limo.
The
I'm trying to
cemetery,
show off.
where she definitely isn't.
What you said? She faked her death, right?
I never said she faked her death.
Oh wait, did he actually not? Fuck.
I said she was supposed to be dead, but apparently isn't.
Well, if someone is supposed to be dead, that means you should be able to find a grave marker, right?
I don't know, but sure. I'm not taking a limo. I've got my own vehicle.
I'm disappointed.
It's
Did
getting
Nahia show up in her car? and she wants to
it's
take
pretty
the
damn
limo?
late by the way at the moment. Like it's getting close to like
Oh,
10 o'clock
right.
night. It's like pitch black outside.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh.
Well, what's a better moment to go to a graveyard, huh?
In the middle of the night. Yeah.
A little
See all
Halloween
the
night
creepy
fun.
little teenagers.
Without Elizabeth, excuse you?
I'm gonna steal the old
Yeah,
man.
get wrecked.
You're dead. Shut up.
I'm sure you saw. I'm sure you saw the Lancer when you before you arrived.
What?
The Lancer. It's the green car with the black details. It's an absolute beast.
Ah,
Right.
the one with the multiple firearms in it.
I'm in an Edgar Wright kind of way, in an Edgar Wright kind of way. I'm almost imagining every time Maddie says like the Lancer, it like cuts to the car. It's like absolute beast comes across the screen like absolute beast.
Yes.
It cuts just back to normal conversation again.
Very good. Very good. So yeah, but sure. Graveyard.
Visiting a cemetery after dark sounds like a great idea.
I've got a flashlight.
I don't.
We've got
Let's
phones.
go.
Right.
Okay, you go into the cemetery.
I take food's on you, Mr. Moneybags.
Everything's on me, and
I
I put down like a stack of money to pay for it, but then it turns to gold. I put it back. I put another stack of money.
Huh. So they weren't lying. Fun.
It creeps up on you when you don't expect it. Anyway,
Right.
as we're walking out, I kind of just look over and point at the lady who served us the brownie. I say, "If anyone recognizes me on that wall, don't tell them that I was really here." And then
Huh? What? And you're already gone by the time she sort of. You step out into the cold night air. Pedro has already started up the car, seeing you leaving, and driven it up. You're unsure how he was able to like both read the newspaper and notice that you were, but he was paying attention enough to know exactly when you stood up. And the car is driven, the limo is driven around and ready to pick you up by the time you come out.
He's just really good at his job.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pedro dear. Today we're going to the cemetery.
He steps outside and he's opened the door for you and Nahia, and he sort of looks at Nahia and Maddie and goes, "Sorry, nice to meet you. I am Pedro." And he holds his hand out to Nahia.
Nahia gives him a firm handshake.
He winces.
Like, not firm to her. Ow! Okay.
Let's go, and goes, "Nice to meet you, I'm Pedro."
Maddie,
Wonderful
she
to meet
shakes his hand.
Ned is just standing next to.
Lovely little car you've got there.
Ned is just standing next to Pedro, going like.
No. She shakes his hand and says she's got a lovely car, and goes to her own right after.
As you start to walk to your own, Pedro sort of looks at it and goes, "It's a nice car, but it's a bit slow, no?"
Sure is. I can look into that if you want.
He sort of does a half smile and climbs into the limo without sort of saying a further word.
All right. I'll surprise you later. Okay. She mumbles under her breath as she walks to her own car and gets in.
I don't like how she said that. Anyway, let's get in. This is Nahia's first time in the limo, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is. I believe so.
It's a limo, and that's it.
It's a very tidy limo. Very well made, well kept, yeah.
Does it have what is it, RBG LED lighting? Is it one of those?
It's on the classier side.
Horrible.
But it does have sort of like, there is, champagne things and that sort of thing. But it's definitely on the classier side. As you pull out and drive heading down towards the graveyard, we're going to cut to Dante Coleman.
I'm calling her from the burner for the first, I think, in the bus, like for the first 20 minutes to the university. He's calling her on a burner.
You call. It goes to nothing.
At which point, are you going to say something else?
No, I was just saying, across the town, a phone sits in a pile of rice. And may or may not be dead.
At which point he thinks maybe she's just not answering an unknown number. At which point, at least for this one time, he has to abandon the protocol he just set out for everyone and call her from his own number. And he just picks up his own phone and keeps calling her. I'm just going to be on the phone while going to the university. I arrive at the university.
Yep.
What time is it?
It's now close to 10 o'clock.
Are any of the buildings? Is the building with her lecture hall open?
No, not at this time, no. At this point, the whole of the university is closed except for the study areas and the
I'm gonna open
library.
Google Maps. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna open Google. So two things. I know very few. I don't know where she lives. I do know what cafe she.
You do know where she lives because you had a date. You had like a day you were going to come and play Scrabble together.
No, she never sent the address to me.
She didn't send the address.
She never sent the address.
She never sent the address to you.
She never sent the address to me.
Oh crap!
I know that.
Like she never sent the address to him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I know
bad.
That. I knew that coming into this episode, but I do know what cafe she frequents.
You do.
And I know her car.
You do.
I'm gonna go to the university. So the building where she teaches is closed, right?
Yeah.
That's what I find.
Mm-hmm. It's closed though, at this time.
Do we, as a campus university, have checkpoints?
So you have checkpoints. The building that she goes to.
Are there security guards there?
Okay, wait. I gotta do this after one quick break. Wait.
What? Somebody called the door. Yeah, see? He's going to the... Yeah, we know what's happening. We know what's happening, Matthew.
The real GM.
Oh, shit. Is that security guards, dude? Guru's asking questions again. Every time this happens, when I ask questions.
Yeah, it's
Mr.
the Shadow
Sidious
GM.
Mist himself is in the other room.
Yes.
His name's Dave.
Yeah, Dave City of Mist.
Dave City of Mist. Please Don't call me Mr. City of Mist. That was my father. Call me
Call me
Dave.
Dave.
Call me Dave.
Dave.
Call me Daza.
Oh God, Mr. City of Mist.
I like to imagine there's just like a whole violent, like, your set type thing behind the door. Every time he goes and rounds the corner, it's just like 40 people working on makeup and lighting and like just behind his house conveniently.
Or even better, a conspiracy theory-esque board of everything about the campaign he has
Right,
planned.
here we go. He's come back with an answer.
He's here.
Guys, everyone shut up.
Fuck you guys. Okay. So the campus security, they do have checkpoints, but it's okay. The building in which Elizabeth's room where she lectures is open. It's the sections into that part are closed. The center part is open, but there's only one bit that's there. Is the check-in point where you scan your card and you get through, which leads down to the archives.
I'm gonna look in the car park.
Okay.
See if the car's there or not.
You look in the car park and you see that her car is there.
I guess I look into the car and I just see the normal picture.
Normal.
No keys inside, nothing.
No keys,
Okay, this is already bad. I keep calling.
You cool? Nothing.
Then I'll go to her building. See if anyone on the checkout saw where she
You
is.
open the door to the building, and you find usually there's one guard, standing guard at the checkout point, who scans people's students' cars if they want to go into the study area or down to the archives, but the rest of the building is locked and closed off. Now, there are 15 guards, all of which are milling around in this area. A very sort of frightened-looking student ahead of you is scanning her card, and you see that all of the guards are very on edge. First thing you notice about the guards, only 2 of them are university staff. The rest of them seem like outside contractors.
What's on their lapels? What's the
Ruby
what
stone.
Bee stone?
Ruby stone.
Ruby stone. Charming. I just look at them. Something is amiss.
Right, sir. You here for the archives? You here for studying? What are you doing?
Honestly, I'm a bit lost. I forgot.
This is a university, sir. If you're not a student here, then I suggest
No,
you
I
don't.
know. I teach here. It's just the campus is so bloody big. I get lost every fucking time.
Excuse
can
me?
one of you lads, the people who usually just escort me for a second?
Give me a convince check, please, Dante.
I speak, they listen.
Yep.
Commanding presence. I just literally said, come give me a...
Yeah, I'll allow.
Funnily enough, this is gonna be my weakness tag from my bastion, I think. Interfering
I think
with
it
me.
will, yeah, it will, yeah.
So I take attention there, and I roll convince. Where is convince? That's convince.
He's just an innocent, confused old man.
He's not old, though. He looks like he's in his 30s. He's not old.
Old.
Right. Okay. I am going to deny something you want. So, you ask this, and a couple of the guards sort of look over you, and are unconvinced. You see that one of the guards who's sitting, the only one who is university staff, has like a thick black eye and is like squinting at you uncertainly. 2 of the Ruby Stone guards open up the thing and step forward to go, "Sorry, mister. New rules regarding the archives. Only approved university staff are allowed inside, and frankly,
Okay.
we have to stay here and guard the place. I recommend you head home."
Understood. Thank you. Yeah. So, damn it. How am I gonna find? Right, fine. Hey,
Yeah.
can I ask why this whole thing kind of new? Unprecedented.
One of them opens his mouth, and the other one sort of nudges him and goes, No, you can't ask.
Yeah, all right, no skin off my tits. I head to the outside, like the outside security booth to see if anyone's in there of like normal university staff. To ask them maybe.
There is, so you go to the outside security booth, and you did see it on the way in, but it's not so like it's the normal barrier. There's the guy at the barrier who's just one normal staff, but you do see now past him in the sort of staff car park. There's three large like SUV type cars with Ruby Stone written across the side.
Okay. By now I'm starting to realize who the fuck Ruby Stone is working for. So I'm not gonna interfere anymore. I'm just gonna quietly walk and keep calling. Just keep calling. That's all. Hekara. So let me think for a second.
Okay,
Hekara
I'll leave you
is-
there outside the
yeah.
university, calling and calling and calling, while Elizabeth sleeps and Alison watches. You lot draw up closer to the graveyard. By the way, there's a good number of graveyards throughout Ullmanoch, the most famous of which is the one in Yarnsdale, which is the largest one. However, there are like many others around the city. This is just I'm assuming you're going to this one as it's the biggest one and it's the
Yeah.
Yeah.
You pull up and see that the black cast iron gates are shut with thick black chains wrapped around them and holding them closed.
Any cameras around?
All you can see.
All right, I'll just walk up to it and I break the chain with my
Okay.
bare hands.
Give me a.
do
No,
I
actually,
need
no,
to-
no. I don't think you need to actually for anything.
Yeah.
That's within your abilities. Yeah, you step for. You watch Ned as Maddie Nealon steps forwards, grabs the chain, and just with that, it snaps and clicks open. The popping sound of the metal skittering across the ground as the lock actually falls free, and the gates swing open as you step through into the graveyard beyond.
Right, after you, I'll go get my my things.
I would like to have Pedro. I'd like to have Pedro go home and not wait for us there.
Okay.
And,
He drives off.
yeah. Yeah. It is the same graveyard as before.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah. I'm just getting a flashlight and yeah, getting
I'm
ready
imagining Maddie's flashlight is one of those ones that can almost double as a baton. Like it's like a
Yeah.
It's like one of those thick.
One of
fucking-
those heavy
Mag
metal
light.
It's like a mag light. It's a beating one. You get it out of the trunk and come forward, lighting it up. And as you guys begin to head into the graveyard, one thing you see. Part of the human condition is humans die. And part of the thing about cities is cities are full of people. And this graveyard is full of gravestones. There is a lot of them. I need each of you to give me... Oof, no. I'm going to... Well, you've got the torch. How are you going about this investigation? How are you searching for them?
I'm just starting at the first one, just walking past the rows and
Oof, okay.
just skimming the names.
I'm going to give me investigation with -2 for
Alright.
vacity.
That is totally fair. Let's see. Anything that can help me here. I don't think I've got any. I don't think I've got anything there, so it's gonna be just a flat.
-2.
You know what? Yeah. Just a flat -2. I was about to add a weakness to this, but I do actually want a chance of getting this.
Go for
Alright,
it.
let's investigate. That's a
Well,
0.
well,
that's a that's a full-on 0.
You guys split up and head your separate ways, moving through the graveyard, searching. Or do you stick in a group? What do you do? Do you stick in a group or do you just go separate ways?
I'd say Nahia splits up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right.
Maddie is just going away. If anyone
Okay.
wants to join her, that's up to them.
Nice
I
bit.
will go with Maddie to keep an eye on her.
Okay. Nahia, you split up. I'm imagining using your phone for a torch. Yeah. Okay. Nahia, can you give me an investigation check with also the -2 for vivacity?
I can't
Maddie.
you do that, and I have no pluses to
Okay,
that.
good.
So.
Yeah,
Whilst you're searching, Maddie, the light of your torch goes across the gravestones one by one, and you are just struck by the many names, so many names, endless, just names with endless quotes to attach them. Darren O'Hart, husband and loving father. Victor Hackett, good man who died by poisoning. Various different, some of them hilarious, some of them normal, most of them just boring old gravestones. Very few of them with flowers before them, and some so worn away that the words and the names and the essence of whoever this person was is long gone. You search, and you search, and you find nothing. As you are searching, you do not notice that Nahia has slipped away from you. She is heading up towards the top of the graveyard, the light of her phone flitting over gravestones as she walks. Nahia, ask me one question, please. Because you rolled an 8, which is a mild success, and because you get one question.
Will it be possible to find Edith Cole's gravestone in this graveyard?
Okay. The first thing you know is this place is huge. Finding one gravestone in it, you start to try and calculate and figure it out. It would take weeks of searching to even have a chance of finding. You'd have to come here and methodically plan out as you went. Or you'd have to ask someone who knew these gravestones like the back of their hand. You are walking up this place, your camera darting from place to place. And as you do, I'm going to say that both you and Ned hear the same thing. Maddie, you do not hear this. There is a woman, and she is singing somewhere in the graveyard. A beautifully solitary song. It is in another language that you do not understand, and it is... But even though you cannot understand it, it resonates with the feeling of being alone, but embracing that fact. Ned, you recognize the voice.
I like to imagine that as Natty was very seriously looking with the flashlight and was just like, so really at the end of the day, frogs are just smaller toads, and then he just hears the he just hears the singing. He's like, he just stops talking, and where is it coming from?
It's coming from the top. This whole graveyard is built in the shape of a hill, and it is coming from the top of the hill. There is a small outcropping of trees.
Okay. I tap Maddie on the shoulder and I'm like, follow me.
Everything all right?
Everything's fine. Let's go meet a friend. They're on the top of that hill. I'm sure you hear them.
I do not. At least I assume that this is a case of not being able to hear, not a case of not noticing.
You stop for a bit, and you don't hear anything.
Yeah.
As you walk closer and closer to the hill, eventually you start to hear it, but it is like it's struggling to get through to you.
Sure. Right. If this is a ghost situation, I'm out of here.
You're scared of a little ectoplasm? Kind of a what else do ghosts do?
I'm not
possession?
scared. I'm not scared. I'm careful.
Don't worry, it's a friend.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I'm coming with them.
You're not coming?
I am.
Oh,
Yeah.
I lead proudly, no fear.
I do take my sawed-off shotgun out of my duffel bag,
Okay.
just in case.
Okay. You slip it out of the duffel bag and it hangs heavy in your hand as you make your way up this embankment to the top of the hill. Nahia, you're slightly ahead of the group and you find what it is before everyone else. Just a little bit before. You get close to the trees and the voice is resonating through them now, rustling with the branches as the wind flows through them, and is like this voice has bound itself to the earth and is just completely ingrained with everything around it. You grow closer and you hear the lilting tune and you can almost understand the words. A woman who loved a man she could never have, and she washes his clothes before battle. She washes his clothes and helps him put on his armor as he heads off on his way. And when he returns, he is not walking, and she washes his clothes in the river again. You get closer now, and the music has taken on a bit of a beat to it now. Sort of a gentle, waltz-like thud to the song. In a gap in the trees, all of which the trees are these sort of twisted willow-like trees that have intertwined at the bottom, so that it is uncertain where each of the trees begins and where each one ends. You remember roughly that there is a mention of these trees. It's a pretty well-known thing. They're called the Seven Sisters. You get closer, and you see that there is a woman. In the moonlight that pierces the trees, though the moonlight seems to follow her like a spotlight, as she dances around in the center of of the trees now. She is clad entirely in white, a long white dress, long white sort of gloves that reach up to her elbows, and long white hair. Her skin is unbelievably pale, and she dances round in an effortless circle, as if she has an entire cadre of suitors that each long forward to reach out and take her up in the dance, and then spin off, and then the next one take their place as she continues to dance, and it is her voice that is echoing outwards. You stand for a moment transfixed as Nahia and Ned also appear in the top of the clearing.
And I want to just to fix something, because I keep forgetting that Maddie is supposed to be walking around with a cane. She offers Ned the flashlight and says, "Don't turn it into gold, please."
I never try to. And then he's you give it to him. Oh my god, dude.
For the listeners at home,
A natural one out
our
of a
lovely
200.
GM just rolled a 1 on a D100.
Oh, fuck, dude.
What's the chance?
Ned, you hold...
It's 1 in 100 as it happens to
You
be.
hold the torch, and the torch turns into gold, and some of the beam of light that is hitting the ground, that continues to hit the ground which is being hit by the beam of light starts turning into gold in a long sort of like tendril as you start walking up the thing.
Damn it,
What
Ned.
the fuck? What the fuck?
Drop
That's
it
never
right
happened
now.
before.
Drop it.
You drop it and the light goes out, and you see that there is now in the moonlight a long erratic line of gold that traces up in the grass.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
And your gold.
She puts the golden flashlight back in the duffel bag.
What is it? What the fuck? That's never happened before. Oh my god. What?
Right. Keep your powers in check, will you?
He, as you say this, Ned pulls out from his pocket a golden Uno card, and he's just like, his hand shaking, just like, I will. He walks up the hill, all right, triumphantly, and he sees the white lady, right?
Yeah. Is there any light other than the flashlight that we just put
The
away?
moonlight seems to have intensified up here. You can see it is faint. It's the sort of thing where like the ground seems dark, but the sky is almost bright. It's a weird thing. Like you've all just turned into silhouettes. But you can make your way through, and you see her. She's bright, like she is exuding light as she dances around in this circle. The moonlight, like a spotlight on her.
You said that she was dancing in like a way where there's like 10 people or something
It's
like
as
that.
if it's as if there is a crowd of people around her, and each one steps up, and she dances with that one, and then casts them off and takes up the next one.
Yeah.
But there's no one there but her.
I wait for my moment, and I join in the dance.
You do?
I do.
Okay.
Halford, you said there was no ghost stuff going on.
Ned Halford,
what kind of roll is this?
you to make a... I'm going to have to ask for a take a risk.
Take a risk?
Yeah.
Man.
But also, does Maddie say the ghost thing out loud? I'm assuming they're all
Yeah,
next to
you
the
see
three
that.
and
You
they're
see
next to
that.
each other.
You see this woman. There's no ghost. There's just this woman dancing.
Yeah, Nahia goes, I'm not sure this is a ghost thing, to be fair.
All right.
Look at her. Look at her.
Okay. Oof. I go. Can I? Okay, you're the DM, obviously, but can I make an appeal to make this a hit with all you've got?
Give me your reasons.
Well, I don't know too much about what she's actually doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But my main reasoning for this would be is that I'm not. I guess it would be more of a take.
Okay.
Explaining it out loud.
No.
I actually
Last time you met this woman, you made a deal with her to save a friend of yours, and she said she would take something from you in return. Since then, she has taken something, and that is the moment in which you come now. Are you going to take a risk here, or are you going to hit with all you got?
Okay, wait. Now is the moment where she's asking for payback?
She's not. She's just dancing.
Okay. All right, I'll join the dance. If I can make this hit with all you've got, and you think that makes sense in the moment.
Give me a hit with all you've got.
All right.
What tags would you like to use?
I would like to use... Hold up. I need to check something. Yes, I have it. All right. I would like to make... I'd like to use... the gold touch, because I have the Uno card with me. And
I will 100% allow that.
All right. I would like to use a lavish lifestyle. It's fancy dancing. I'm used to it.
Not this dancing.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I'm afraid not. Sorry.
She's busting a move. And for a defense purposes, solid gold and always in effect.
I will allow always in effect, not solid gold.
Yeah. All right. Would free of rot apply here?
Free of rot will apply here.
All right. And so I also have this thing on. I have the improvement on my expression on fire. If I use a tag in here from that, it makes the move dynamite, I think.
Okay.
Can I hit with all you've got specifically?
Okay, give me the hit with the all you got.
Okay. I don't know how to actually make it on fire, but I
Don't worry, just click the dynamite thing if it and it will go through as dynamite if it's a dynamite roll.
No, all right. It's a dynamite roll with a +3. Hit what you've got.
Oh! That is a
Wait.
mild success. Right, so you rolled an 8 altogether with a power of 3. Okay, right. So first of all, you're going to give her a status of 3. Choose a status, and then you get to do another one. One other option.
Alright, well, okay, hold up. Okay, status of 3.
So first I'll tell you what happens, and then you can decide how this plays out. So, you step out, and as you reach out, her arms and hand meet yours, and it is like a fizz of cold through every fiber of your being. It is nothing like the last dance you had with her. She has come round to this dance, and you see that her eyes have met you as you step forward. A knowingness greets you there, a readiness to welcome you into the dance once more. This is the dance Macabre, and as you take it in your hands, her arm wraps around you, and you spin off into the darkness of the moment. It is just you and her, and an entire crowd of everyone who has ever died here who is watching the dance. They stand flooding this room all around, the thousands upon thousands of suitors, the many dead waiting for their chance at the dance. You hold her and spin into the middle, and all eyes are on you. What do you do?
I would like to give her the status Amused 3.
You take the dance, and as you also what's the second thing you do? So you could hit them with all you got and turn it into Amused 4, which would actually but not be amused anymore. That would be impressed even.
Is there any sort of way I could? Is there any sort of way I could make the Amused status extend to the crowd of dead people, so I don't get them stealing their dance?
You gain the upper hand. Take one juice, and you can use that juice, but that would be a different roll than to use the juice.
All right, yeah. I will.
Well, you could put the juice into. You could put the juice into the situation right now and say that the juice is the crowd is pacified one.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
I will give her Amused 3, and I will give the crowd Pleased 1.
Right. Okay. You take her in the dance, and for a moment she's leading. She's always led. This is the dance Macabre. She's led it for as long as she's been her. And as you dance round, something happens that she never was ready for. You start to lead. You start to take the dance in a completely different direction, and the waltz ceases to be a waltz. It's now a samba, and now a tap dance. It's a tap dance, and it's a mix of a all variety of dances that you've done and performed on stage. And she has no answer for it. Her feet try to keep up. She tries to keep with the movement, and confusion races across her face. And you spin her out into the last movement. She sort of is left standing there breathless as the crowd raises their ghostly hands and claps to silence. And they fade.
Oh.
You are standing now in a surrounding of trees. The moonlight has gone from off her, and for the moment she looks like a completely normal girl. The light that was brimming within her is diminished significantly. She stands there, breathing heavily, completely overblown by the spectacle you've just taken her through. And as she stands there, she goes, "You came back."
I like to imagine that it's like one of those things where she's like hanging by he's like holding it like this, you know what I mean? And he looks at her, looks at her heavy breathing, and he's like, "Of course, we have a lot to talk about."
As you say that, by the way, what is everyone doing at this point? Everyone else doing at this point?
So what did we see?
You see Ned step forwards as this woman dances around in a circle, and you can see there's a brewing intensity and almost definitely otherworldliness about her dance. Ned steps up, dance with her, and for a moment he seems to sort of like fade from vision, like he's slipping in and out of sight, And then Ned takes complete command of the dance. And as he takes more control of it, the woman begins to diminish and diminish and diminish and diminish until Ned is the one that finishes with the final move and she is left there, broken and now looking very human and normal.
Ned, we still got
Yes?
work to do.
I'll be a minute.
Right.
Told you it was an old friend.
Right. And he gives the woman a very suspicious look.
She lets go of Ned's hand and stands, and you see she's not beautiful, but she's sort of striking in a strange way. Sort of a sternness about her that's overlapped by like this almost innocence to a degree. She kind of looks like a petulant kid to a degree. There's something like very stern but also very innocent about her. And as she sits and looks from each of you, she goes, "Am I in trouble?"
Oh, no, no, no. The very opposite. I cannot thank you enough. Remember my friend, the one you saved?
You
And the one who...
don't know that.
Hmm? What do you mean?
You don't
She
know,
saved Isadora, right?
yeah, you don't know that she was the one that saved him, though.
But I literally did the deal with her, remember?
Yeah, but you did a deal with her, and then a while later, Isadora turned up, cured of his, well, you don't know that
You
she's
remember
the
my
one that did it.
friend, the one I made the deal about?
Yes. And she looks extremely nervous now.
Oh, don't worry, it's nothing bad. He doesn't have his powers anymore, and I have a feeling you had something to do with that. Please, let me know what you did. I need to know.
Her fingers sort of intertwine for a moment. She looks through all of you and she goes, I just wanted... He just didn't seem very happy, you know.
And then it's just like, I can understand all too well. How do you get them to stop? And when he says this, like again, does she have anything on like her hand that is not her hand? Like a ring or something of any kind?
Not really. She just seems to.
Alright,
She seems to sort of be. She's wearing long gloves at the moment. Long sort of like opera
Oh,
gloves.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank God. All right, now I don't have to do this to your hand. So for dramatic effect, when he says this, it's like, "What? You have any idea how to make it stop?" And as he says this, the glove on her hand becomes gold.
She sort of staggers back, holding it as it's stiffened around her arm, and sort of looks at you in confusion and fear now, looking from
Sorry
the other.
about that.
She starts to pull her hand out, and eventually, with a clunk, the glove drops to the ground, and she's left with her hand free. And she goes, "He owed me a favor, and I wanted to cash in. I didn't think you'd mind that much."
I don't mind. It's great. It's amazing. Please, I'll do anything. Just when you cash in a favor from me, take my powers. Just please take them and run off with them and throw them in the deepest dungeon you can find. I want them gone forever. Please.
Halford, what are you doing?
She looks at all of you and she goes, I don't do anything. It's not me. And it doesn't take it.
It doesn't?
No, it's like when you have something that's really important and you need to put it somewhere safe so that you know that it will be kept somewhere. It's like that. So you remember where it is. Then if something happens to you, it goes on. Do you understand?
I understand. Since I want them gone. I want them gone for a long, long time.
There's only one person who can make them gone.
Please tell me their name, and I take out like a pen and paper. I'm just like,
They call her West.
West. Okay, West. Wait,
That's all I know, I promise.
that sounds very familiar.
That's lovely, but we don't need that.
Are
You're
you
not going to give away your powers.
Halford, we don't need that.
Listen, you're not me.
I know I'm not you.
I know you wish you were, but you're not.
Right. How about we don't just give away our powers so that we are practically useless?
How
You
is a
can
funny
do
word?
stuff that other people can't. Make use of it.
I can do that without this.
You can't. You really can't.
You have been here a very short time.
I know, but I've done my research before approaching you.
Then tell me exactly.
Exactly what?
Exactly how many people have turned to gold, because the number's floating around in my head. So I want you to tell me. How many people have they turned to?
How many people? Fuck if I know. I've not been looking into people. Been looking into the what's, and that's pretty much it. So I know what you can do, and I know that just walking up to someone and being like, hey, make me just like everyone else is a bad idea.
I'll never be like everyone else, and you know it. Listen to me. 14 is the number, if you actually did your research. 14 people.
Yeah, 14 people. And then? So
Listen,
you've
I'm
turned
gonna,
14
I'm
people
gonna,
in.
I am going to keep my powers. I've made that decision already.
Good.
Until I cash out with grace, and then I'm cashing out them as well. And I am fucking off to the farthest corner of the earth, which what I was trying to do when I came here. But seriously, you are not me.
No, I'm not. And honestly, as long as you keep them around for a while, I'm happy. I don't want. Look, I joined this group because I know you can help me with Mr. Grace. The last thing I need is that people are gonna go around making themselves useless. I want out, alright? And that's not going to happen when you're walking around just being Ned Halford TV presenter.
Can I go, please?
Right, you go.
Of course you can go. And I just like, I don't know. I feel like it's the wrong time, but I give a big hug and I'm like, thank you. And I leave, turn around to Mandy, and I'm like,
You hug her and she lets out sort of like a bit of a squeak of fear, as if
Yeah.
she's about to be turned to gold. Because the
Yeah.
talk up till now has been about how many people you've turned to gold. And you let go of her, she sort of staggers for a moment. By the way, up until now, every time you've encountered this being, she's been completely in control of the situation. She now seems very frightened and very uncertain as she darts off and darts between the trees and is gone.
thank you. She just walks in the sunset. Oh, the moon set. I'm just like, I turn to Mandy and say, I will help you. I will be you. Do whatever the fuck you want. But I want out as much as you do. It's just not from someone else. It's from me. Whatever the fuck this is. This magic is getting really annoying. And I like me more than I like it. When you're the strongest, fastest, richest person in the world, and you're the smartest as well, and something happens, it's your fault. When you're the only person in the world that matters, if something fucks up, whose fault is it? It's yours. And so with a
Sure.
flick of a wrist, I can turn you into something who will stop talking. Okay? Keep that in mind.
Right, and with the flick of a wrist, I can break your wrist.
And with the flick of another wrist, I can. This is too many
Alright,
wrists.
this is
Too many
enough.
wrists.
Come on. Let's keep going.
You turn
Well,
and you
I
see
mean-
Nahia is on the other side of the clearing, anyway, watching this whole
Yeah, she's-
exchange go down.
Her arms are crossed.
I pick up the glove, and I say, "Here for your wrist, in case you make me mad."
Is the glove is still made of?
It's still
of
gold. Yeah, it's still gold.
I want to try something. Just like the moment they're not looking at me, I'm gonna try and see if I can bend it.
Oh, okay.
I'm just out of curiosity.
It's magic gold.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is not
Give
your
me
average
a
thing.
go toe to toe, and Ned, give me an unknown go toe to toe.
Alright.
So you don't know you're going toe to toe, Ned. But you
Alright.
are.
I'm using wood tear through metal.
Yeah.
Work here.
Yes,
Alright.
definitely.
Competitive to a fault. I feel is very much
Yes.
like I'm trying to see here. Are my powers enough? And I think that is all here.
Ned, what
You know
text
what?
are you gonna use?
I'm going.
Oh.
She's going to like she's trying it out, but she's kind of going at it a bit recklessly. I'm going to use my weakness tag, needless destruction.
Yes, definitely.
All right.
Okay.
Go toe to toe.
Go toe to toe.
Oh, that's a 5.
I gotta roll now. Ooh.
Oh, my rolls
That's
are.
bad.
My rolls are almost as bad as Guru's this session.
Oof.
Holy shit.
Oof.
No, yours are worse.
They are. Oh, I left my luck with the previous sessions.
I will. Would the gold touch work here? Because I'm not actually.
No,
touching
no, you're
anything.
not touching it. It's not gold touch. It's different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Free of rot would work.
Yeah. Free of rot, and always in effect.
Always
It
an
is,
effect would work. Yeah.
And I want to use the. Ew, I want to use
Do
the
you,
weakness. I want to use the weakness tag. No, that wouldn't be a weakness since this. I would like to use the weakness tag something like gold, but you said that was about like his result or whatever.
That could be used for this. That could be used for
What
this.
was it called?
Soft like gold.
Soft like gold. Oh.
That could be used for this. I'd allow that.
So yeah, soft like gold. So go toe to toe.
Right. So that's so Maddie rolled a 5, and
Yeah.
Ned rolled a 12. So
Yeah.
Maddie, you pick up the golden glove, and your claws tighten and start to dig into it. And you've bent gold before. Like, it's not hard to do it all.
Yeah.
This gold doesn't bend. You tense, and the veins start to pop up your arm and up your neck, and it doesn't bend. Your claws extend, and one of your nails snaps off and spins into the darkness. You drop the gold thing, and it thuds onto the ground. And you were slightly worried that this person might be stronger than you thought they were.
Well, I'll give the glove another kick before I leave.
It spins into the darkness, and your toe hurts a lot. As you...
Very frustrated.
Do I have to choose two of the things, or was?
No. It's a 1-on-1, so it's done slightly differently because it's Okay. Across the town, as you guys head down.
Sorry,
the river,
just
yeah.
one more thing. Fuck, sorry.
Huh?
I really want to wrap this interaction with Maddie the right way. I put like a napkin on my hand, right over my hand, and I should give out for a handshake and I say, "No hard feelings. I just want you to know what my goal is."
Sure, no hard feelings. She shakes his hand. I do take it that since I rolled this shitty, Ned rolled this well, that the others noticed.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna say that shitty. Yeah, You do notice, yeah. You guys
Yeah,
notice.
yeah,
Sorry, but yeah, that's that bad.
sure.
Across town, Elizabeth, you continue to sleep. Dante, what are you doing?
Yes. I completely blank the security. I don't ask them anything because it's starting to sort of coalesce in my head who they must be working for. They're just smoking a cigarette, heading to the cafe that we were with Elizabeth with last time on Friday. I'm looking at social media to try to find either her or Allison to maybe glean news, maybe
Oh,
glean
God.
some clues.
Give me an investigation check. Syriinx, how active is either Allison or... Well, how active are Allison and Elizabeth on social media?
You're
I can't
muted.
hear you, can't hear you. Don't know why.
Still muted.
Didn't you have like push to talk or something?
I do.
There you go. It just worked. I do work.
Yay!
All right. I don't know what changed. No, Elizabeth is not active at all on social media.
Okay.
I think maybe Allison would be like a typical like Facebook person.
I have a feeling
That's what I
Allison's
was
probably
thinking.
a Facebook person.
That's
I have
what I
a
was
feeling
gonna look for.
Allison... Yeah.
I was gonna look for Allison Weiss.
Okay.
I don't know her surname.
Give me a look. So give me an investigation check. And Elizabeth, based on how much you feel Allison does social media, I'm going to let you... Do you think this is a -2 or a -1?
Or a +3.
Or a +3?
I think even trying to find someone just by the first name alone is difficult, right?
Yes.
But does
So,
Allison
I'm
go by
go-
Vice on Facebook and stuff?
I don't need
I
her to
think
go by
I have
Weiss.
her name.
Okay.
I need to
All right.
Google, not go. I need to search for Elizabeth's name in Facebook and Allison's name in Facebook to see if they come up together on the same page. They might mention Ullmanoch, Allison, Elizabeth. There might be a connection. That's the way I go on
Okay,
about
I'm going to
it.
say give me an investigation with -1 because you do have your detective skills, but this is a rougher one. I mean, is it?
Okay, so doesn't miss a detail. What do I remember about them too while I'm walking to the cafe? I am gonna.
Well, I mean, you like all you have to do is check the university website, find Elizabeth's profile, and you'll find the
Yes.
details of her name and stuff like that, and you know that she lives
Yes.
probably relatively close to Yarnsdale. Has she
I don't
talked to
know that.
Alison?
I don't
Yeah,
actually
you don't
know
know
that.
that. Do you know?
What
Should
I
she have
do
talked about
know-
her wife's career? No,
She never talked
you
about
don't
her
know
wife's
that.
career. She mentioned her name.
She met Alison.
I would like to do this once I'm in the cafe. If I find someone with a laptop, that'll be easier. Once I get to the cafe, who do I find there? Do I find anybody painting like we did last time?
You get into the cafe. Is this the same cafe, the Turing Tap?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is kind of like a pub / cafe. This time of night, it's turned more into a pub, and it is turned into a student pub. So like, there's a lot of students here, on dates, drinking, with friend groups, hanging out, chatting about their classes. You walk in, and you see a number of your students in the corner are drinking and chatting. You try and search around. I'm going to allow doesn't miss a detail for trying to find possibly maybe recognize one of Elizabeth's students. You don't see anyone painting though. No one painting at this time. Even the artist kids are going to be getting drunk at this time of
Okay.
night.
So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna look around. If I don't find anyone, is this still a -1?
Unless you can argue me otherwise. Unless you can give me a good reason why not.
Why isn't it the -1 just to talk to people?
Oh, no, it's not -1 to talk to people. It's -1 if you're searching for her on the internet.
Okay, so this is a complex thing, right?
Yeah, we're in a
It's a
bit of a
complex
confusing
thing.
thing. You're doing multiple things right now to search
I'm
for
doing
her.
multiple things to
Yeah.
find either Elizabeth or Allison. I'm going to talk to people. If nothing happens, I'll talk to my students. for which I will use commanding presence, and I speak, they listen. I will find.
Okay. Give me a broad investigation check using all your investigation tags, and I will factor in the -1
Okay.
just because it's a
That,
large
do
spread.
any of my students have a laptop on them?
Not on them. No, no one goes out with a laptop to drink at this time of night. I'm afraid. No. During the day, one of them would probably be like writing their bloody novel on their book, but on their laptop. But at this time of night, they're all getting drunk.
I'm gonna look at it from another angle by way of assuming that. Okay, Facebook is one thing.
I'll tell you one thing about students, especially in a campus like the one you're in. Ullmanoch University isn't huge. Talking to one of your students, one of them will probably know someone who knows someone in the art department, or will know someone in the art department.
Right, which was my thinking.
Definitely know an art student.
Which was my thinking.
So yeah, I'll allow that.
So like,
without
talk to students.
Yeah.
Talk to students to find any of Elizabeth's students. Maybe somebody has seen where Elizabeth has been. Look at the internet. Look at the police database and find anything they may have on Elizabeth.
Give me the investigation. No -1, just a broad investigation.
Okay.
It's encompassing talking and looking online.
Can I look at it from another angle because I'm...
Yes. Yeah, I'll allow that, yeah.
Okay. Investigate. Please be good. Please be good. It is a
well,
dynamite
that's a dynamite
success.
Well, fucking hell. Dante's back, baby.
Never left.
Okay. So, I'm just going to say, with a dynamite thing, you're looking for one answer. We've done this before when you've had a dynamite. I'm just going to say you find the answer.
I'm not looking for one answer. I'm looking for two answers.
Okay, what answers are you looking for?
Where did she leave? Did anyone see her leave? Who with? When? And finally, where does she live?
Right. You start speaking to a number of students, your students, who are like, Mr. Coleman, have a beer with us. Come on, have a beer with us. And you sort of brush them.
I sit. No. I sit down, but I just have a glass of water. I'm like that with my. I'm not having a beer. I will chat with them. I always will. I always have time with them.
Sir, is it true? Come on, sir. Is it true?
Dante just perfectly composed takes a sip of water and says, "Yeah, but specify."
Is it true you punched one of the other faculty in the nose last year?
You'd have to be more specific, mate.
Fuck! I told you. They start clapping each other on the shoulder and they're laughing. And as they're sort of talking, you see one of them is having a cider, but she's only about halfway through a cider, and you can tell by the sort of the amount of empty glasses around the other people they're drinking, and she's sort of less drinking. She sort of seems a bit quieter than the others, and you notice just very subtly a little bit of paint on the edge of her fingers.
Okay, I'll take her aside later. So I spend 20 minutes talking to my students, just relaxing them. I'm not going to talk about the work. I'm not going to say anything about what they need to do. I think they're on the right path. I'll just be a mate for that minute, and then do I know her name?
You don't know her name, but in the course of the chatting to everyone, you find out that she's called Eliza. You do also find all of your students chatting. They have noticed the increase in security. They have also noticed, and you find this out too, that more and more students have been restricted access to the archives, which they're pissed at. They're not questioning the reality. They're just being like, oh, it's fucking stupid. Some people are working on their dissertations. How are they meant to get access to the information they need?
When it comes to maths, I've given you the online resources. Make ample use of them. I'll be available, not round the clock, but every day I check them out.
It's not that kind of thing. It's more like a rage as in what the fuck's going on in the
universe.
No, I know.
Yeah. I'm still reassuring them that their education needn't, at least their mathematical education needn't stop. I'll still be there for them pretty much all the time. Then I pick a minute when more people get up and stuff, and I lean over and say, "Can I talk to you a second, Eliza?"
Yes, is everything okay?
Yeah, do you mind? He sort of gestures with his head to the side.
Okay. She stands up and she leaves her cider behind her. By the way, during the conversation, you did find the group sort of joked about her being an art student, and it's
Okay.
pretty bloody obvious now.
Yeah. Dante will just, once they're more or less alone, not surrounded by other students, he's go, "You okay?
Yes, I'm
You're not in
just
trouble."
no, it's just a friend of mine. Everyone's joking about the archives, but my friend, he's having a rough time. He broke up with his boyfriend, and then he went to see the archives with some weird girl who said she was a student, and well, there was a bit of a fight. I think that's why all the security is enhanced. So someone tried to get into the archives, and it turned into a bit of a fight. Jonathan's okay, but he's rattled.
Well, all my best to Jonathan. If he needs to talk about it, he can talk to some of the, well, I don't know, most of the professors are pricks I find in this place.
Well,
But there's at least a
not
couple
Miss
who aren't.
Weiss. Miss Weiss is good. She's okay.
Is she?
Yeah, she does okay.
Have you seen her today?
She looks really sort of confused. Not confused, sort of like uncertain for a moment, and she sort of runs her hand over and she goes like, I saw her in the car park. And she doesn't know why she's telling you this. Because she was very scared when she saw this. She says, I saw her get into a car of a man and drive away, and we're not meant to talk about this man, and I don't know why.
What do you mean not meant to talk about him?
I don't know. I can't explain it. I'm just...
It's okay.
He's...
Write it down.
He's just something very frightening about him. He's a small man, dark skin, glasses, demure. He seems perfectly normal, but he's frightening.
Wait. Niles?
She sort of looks uncertain. She goes, I think that's what he's called.
She got into a car with Niles.
And drove away. I saw them. I was trying to talk to her about my assignment. I said I couldn't do it, and then she was getting into the car, and Niles met my eyes, and I just ran away. I'm sorry.
Dante, without touching her, just reassures her. Hey, first of all, you did nothing wrong. I'm sure you'll talk to her again about your assignment. Just keep working on it. She, well, I don't know her teaching style, but she doesn't strike me as particularly, well, me. So just keep working on it, yeah?
Is this something to do with the statues?
What statues?
We weren't meant to talk about it. You can see again, she doesn't know why she's telling you all of this, but something has compelled her to tell you all of this. And she goes, a number of students, only 5 or 6 of us, were permitted into the locked part of the archives, the closed part, and there's some statues, well, heads of statues there, and they're unlike anything I've seen before. They're very like Mr. Niles. They're frightening.
I see. You didn't happen to overhear where they went, where they were headed?
Yes. We were meant to take notes of them and keep a log of them, but as well as other things down there. I asked one of the curators there, but he didn't tell me anything. I think I saw cases for them, and I saw lot numbers, and I think they were meant to be sold. They looked like they were in pain.
Lot numbers?
Yes. On the base of the statues, they're not really statues. They were more like busts, but they felt like statues. Everything else below the head was gone. Just the head was left. But they seemed to be shouting at me, calling to me, like they were in terrible pain.
What numbers? Hey, you don't happen to know where Mrs. Weiss lives?
Sure. I know roughly. She's sometimes let people contact her, and she's...
Roughly will do. I'll look for a man with... Well, never mind.
Okay.
Hey, Eliza.
Yes?
Right? How about you write down where she lives?
She
Go
does.
rejoin your mates, and don't think much about this conversation, okay? Just relax. Forget we talked.
Eliza writes it down and gives it to you. And I'm just gonna say, rush ahead to say that you're driving to her. You're driving to... Well, no, you're taking the bus. Sorry, to get here. Your bus drops you a couple of stops away from the rough area. As you get off the bus, there is a presence beside you immediately. A massive figure strides out of the darkness of the bushes, as if he had melded into the darkness itself. Huge, muscle-bound, panting, and for the first time, he looks concerned. His pale amber eyes look at you as he takes you in.
You alright, mate?
His hand goes onto your shoulder, and there is so much strength in there. You know that if he pressed his hands together, he could crush your shoulder beneath his grip. But it tenses ever so slightly, and he looks at you, and he goes...
I got you, mate.
He lets go and he starts running.
I go after him.
He runs unbelievably fast, and he has to keep stopping to let you catch up with him. His stride is unbelievable, but it is not long before you find yourself outside the door of Elizabeth's house. Before
I ring, I'll just... What's Tristan like in this moment?
Tristan is standing in front of the door, and he is deeply breathing in, though it's not from exercise. It's like the panicking of a dog locked in a door, like locked in a room when something crazy is going on the other side. And he's just sitting there going...
I don't know if you need me to roll for this or what, but Dante will just very, like, firmly, but without, a lot of force, will just put his hand on Tristan's shoulder and says, hey, I really wanted to thank you, but I guess I'll have to wait for another time. So, back on duty. I'm going to have to call the door, okay?
I'm not going to ask you to roll for that, but his eyes do sort of meet yours, and sort of like in confusion, his eyebrows tense, and he goes, looks at the house again, and he goes, and gestures towards it.
I'm ringing the door. I'm already ringing.
You step past him through the gate. Elizabeth's house is nice, well maintained, nice garden out to a gate, typical sort of family house. You ring the door, and you hear it echo from inside. A woman's voice comes down not long later. There's no one home. Go away.
Okay. Mrs. Weiss.
You say that after a short silence, a couple of footsteps approach. The door opens and you see a woman standing inside. bedraggled-looking woman, overworn with stress. She sort of looks you up and down and goes, "Yes?
Allison?
Who are you?"
I'm Dante. I'm Elizabeth's colleague. I've been looking for her since... Well,
How do I know you're Dante?
well... what have I told her about myself? What has she told you about me?
Elizabeth doesn't talk much about her work friends.
Yeah.
I've never met any one of them.
Well, okay, he gets out his wallet, just shows his identification papers though.
She looks at them and sort of goes, "What do you want?"
Her car is left at the university. She's not picking up my calls, and I'm worried.
She's fine.
Is she?
She's fine.
Okay.
If you want to wait out here, you can wait out here, but she's not seeing anyone at the moment.
All right. What happened?
Elizabeth doesn't
I
have
can
many
tell.
friends, Dante.
Neither do I.
She folds her arms and opens the door a bit more and she goes, "Sometimes I don't even know what's going on. What makes you think you do?"
What makes me think I know what's going on? I'd be lying if I said I know the full picture. But I'm staring at the things every day. I don't know how to explain it to you. All I know is my friend's missing, and I need to find her.
Give me a convince check.
Okay.
Oh my god, can I give a help point?
You can. That is definitely the time to give a help point.
Hell yeah.
Okay, I take 1 health point. Commanding presence. I come off it.
Commanding presence? You
Ernest,
sure you want to use
I'm
commanding?
I mean, that's my main effect. That's what everything else works for.
Okay. I'll allow it.
I am telling her I'm on her side,
Okay.
and she's gonna have to stop and listen when I talk and consider what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's a 9.
Right. She pauses for a long moment in the doorway. She goes, "I've been with that woman through some hard times. I have seen I'm not going to let anyone hurt her. Ever. You tell that to the man out there that he doesn't need to be there. I'm not letting anyone hurt her."
You mean Tristan?
I don't know what his name is.
The man out there might look like your stalker.
I know
And
what
in
he's.
some
I know
ways-
he's not a stalker. I don't know what
You know.
she's gotten into. I don't know what she's done on the side, but
I do. It's simple.
I wouldn't.
What you just said about her, that's the same way she feels about you.
Why does she have an ordered dog outside?
Because she's afraid for you.
It was my job to be afraid. I was the one that was meant to be afraid.
That's not how it works.
You don't know.
That's not
I have
how it
no
works.
idea.
It's not... Of course I do. I've been married.
How can you have any idea?
I hate it when people tell me that. I was married once. I had a wife, a family. I thought it was my job to protect them, and honestly, I failed.
She sort of pauses and takes this in for a moment, and she goes, whatever this is, whatever you and all of them are doing, I think it should end.
Whatever I'm doing.
All of you. I don't know what you and her are doing, or as you gallivant around causing trouble and attention.
Allison, we're just trying to watch each other's backs while all the madness goes around us. We have no choice. We can't stop. We don't gallivant particularly as much as we stumble through shit and hope that we stumble out upright.
She looks up and she goes, she's not to find out about any of this. Not about what I know, not about what I am. Any of it. You understand?
Dante sort of squints at her, says, so, you've heard about our exploits. You're not as mundane as Elizabeth thinks you.
No, Mr. Coleman. I am anything but mundane.
You know?
You can sleep on the couch. But after today, this ends. She steps forwards and the door opens. She lets you inside.
Dante steps in, says, I'm glad. I'm glad you know. Makes all of this easier.
No,
Where can I wash my hands?
it doesn't. Kitchen has a sink. I'll get you something to sleep under. She starts making her way upstairs.
I'm not going to be doing much sleeping. You have a laptop?
She leaves you with her laptop, her password, the Wi-Fi code, and a ratty-ish, sort of, not ratty, it's like a nice blanket, but it's a bit of a dusty blanket because it's not really been used for many guests who have slept.
Before she leaves, I'll just say, Allison, where is Elizabeth?
She's upstairs. She's in bed. She's sleeping.
Okay. Then, alright, I guess questions for the morning.
I had to pull her from the very brink. I've never had to do that before.
How do you mean?
She steps over to the fridge, opens it up, takes a half-empty bottle of white wine and pours herself a glass, pours you a glass, sits down.
I refuse immediately. She pulls me out of nothing.
Drink, you're in my house.
I don't drink.
Fine, I'll have both of them. And she drinks, and she tells you. Dante, can you jump into secrets for me, please?
Of course. Of course, Booby. Don't have to ask me twice. Oh.
She sits down opposite you, and she tells you a story. She tells you a story about a young girl whose mother used to be absent a lot. Used to disappear from the house and rarely spend any time with her father. A mother who seemed distant and strange and constantly busy. It was only after her mother died that she began to find out things that she had not known. The manner in which she found them out was distressing. to say the least. Alison doesn't go into the details. She hovers on the outside of what you can tell are traumatic memories, and gives you just what you need to know that this woman has been through a great deal. She tells you about when she began to figure out that she was different, that she had a mastery over death. And then they came for her. A group of people that called themselves the Order. They worked in a side sect of the government, and they were very selective about those they interviewed. Each of them were as unique and alike as they were to the varieties of death. She found that she belonged there for a while, but always there was something quite wrong. And it was not long after that where she committed herself never again to use her abilities or access any part of herself that connected to that part of the world. As she tried to distance herself from them, she found that they did not like that idea. They came for her, and she demonstrated for them the real meaning of death. Took a long time before finally they gave her peace. When she had that peace, she just wanted to be alone. Till she met someone unlike anyone she'd met before. And for the first time in her life, she felt connected and loved. The only problem was, she knew that what had happened to her would again happen to this girl. They would come for her and try to make her one of them. So, she did the smartest thing she could. She hid her. Her heart breaks when she tells you that the marriage to begin with was almost out of a protective instinct rather than love. But she's not sure about that. She's not sure if she truly felt that or if it was herself deceiving herself when she made that decision. All she knows now is that she loves Elizabeth more than anything else in the whole world, and that she will destroy anyone who tries to take her from her.
When Dante hears that, he just said, "Good. You should." And then he leans in and says, "So how did Grace find out?"
You are a small fry, Mr. Coleman. All of you are tiny fish in an immeasurable ocean. Mr. Grace is a Leviathan. Me, I could destroy you with a thought if I chose to.
Go ahead.
I don't want to. You have done right by her, and you have done right. But you are putting her in danger, and I will not abide that any longer.
I'm putting her in danger. This is some bollocks. If she came up to me and said I'm quitting, I'd accept it. I'm not the one who needs to accept her resignation, though, am I?
Fine. But then hear this. She takes a deep breath and takes the glass of wine and drinks it fully and places it on the ground. She goes, "There will be no good from this. There will be no good from poking the tiger, from inflaming Mr. Grace. There will be no good from any of this. I saved Elizabeth from the brink of death today. and it almost killed me. I'm too tired for this, Mr. Coleman, and Elizabeth can choose what she chooses to do, but I don't want to watch her die.
It's just Dante.
She stands, takes the other glass of wine and downs it, and places it down. She goes, "We will talk about this another time. Until then, I expect you to be more careful with my wife's life, Mr. Coleman. Dante."
I don't tell her. I don't try to justify myself. I know she's in her feelings. She wants to blame me and misdirect all the anger at me. It's fine. Dante's perfect. It's his life, right? That's what he's done with his life. Like, take up his anger for shit he didn't do. So he's perfectly happy with that. He just gets on the laptop and we need to go back to the other.
Okay.
Hey!
Right as I was sending our birth charts.
Look who's back from
Thank God you saved me.
Elizabeth's wife.
No! I'm gonna make you homework assignment. Everyone has to make their birth charts, and I have to know.
Okay. We're gonna take a very short break at that as Allison puts down the glass of wine, says her last words to you, Dante, and strides upstairs. Downstairs, Dante Coleman opens up the laptop, begins to look over the internet. Upstairs, Elizabeth has stopped shaking. She is curled up around the pillow and is holding it. And very slowly, Allison slips into bed next to her, her arm snaking around Elizabeth's waist. She pulls her close, nestles against her, and together they fall asleep. And we're going to take a quick break there.
Hooey! Alright.
Holy shit.
Hey, Guru, is Dante fucking my wife?
Yeah! Why are you fucking
I was hoping you'd be the last person to make that joke. I swear to God. You fucking my wife. You fucked my wife. You
I'll
fucked my
have you
wife.
know she was the very first person
I am your wife.
I was not. You were, mister.
I was no. That was not my no. I was not, no. Was
You
I?
should be. I'm sorry. You
I
don't know
really-
what's happening, but I'm giving Dante a hurt point. Motherfucker spent half the day looking for you.
Yeah, and then he fucks a wife.
But why are
Then
you
he
fucking my
fucked her
wife?
wife.
Oh my God, is Elizabeth okay? No, she's not. Ah, well, what you doing?
You come in more often, huh?
Eh. So, how about that?
So,
it's already difficult not to talk about all the shit I know and I'm thinking. And now I know even more. And I'm thinking even more. And I can't talk about any of it with anyone.
So you got 2 bedrooms, perhaps? If not, then that's fine. We can just put your
Matt said it was Allison like coming into bed, but it was Tristan.
Yes. Hey, Matt.
Poor Tristan.
Hey, Matt.
Poor Tristan.
Poor
I love
Tristan.
Tristan. Tristan is great.
Poor Tristan.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the way, outside,
Just-
as you all drift into sleep, Tristan is pacing back and forward outside the house.
So I want to say something.
Yeah.
Because we probably don't need to play this. I'm going to spend like an hour or two looking into Stephen Niles. What I can find about him.
Give me an investigation check, please.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty much the same things. I'm just going to use the internet, the police. I'm going to look if his name repeats anywhere, recurring patterns of behavior.
Okay.
Like news, police reports. I'm going to look at it from another angle. I'm going to look at his university record, what he used to teach, what he's teaching, what he's doing with that. What is his specialty? I'm going to look on online forums and see if any of the students like leave reviews of their professors and stuff, like what do they say about Niles, what's like the comment chatter about him online, on Twitter, on Facebook, etc.
You do that. As you do that, I'm going to publish tomorrow's paper. So we'll run through this as we're saying you're each going off to sleep, and tomorrow is waking up for each of you. Okay, that is an 8 So that is a mild success. You get 4 questions, but they can be fuzzy or they can expose you to danger.
Yeah. It's April 1st already? Damn.
It's
So
April.
question number 1 is, what is the most basic stuff I find about Stephen Niles, and what stands out? Like, what's unusual about things I find out about Niles?
Okay, what's unusual? The unusual thing is there is nothing unusual about Stephen Niles. He is a perfectly ordinary professor. He's, from what you can tell, used to teach history. Now teaches pretty much nothing. Does an occasional history class. From what you can tell, it's on Norse mythology, Norse culture. Apart from that, he rarely comes in. Is in charge of the control of the archives. Has mostly
is in charge of controlling the archive.
Yep.
Okay.
That's the only thing you find. He's technically the one who is in charge of the archives.
What about his personal life?
Personal life? Had a wife, Rebecca Niles. She sadly passed away several years ago. Doesn't have any information about how she passed away. None whatsoever.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are his activities? What does he do? What do I find any internet activity to indicate what Niles does other than be a professor and in charge of the archives?
From what you can tell, all of the information seems to point to him being probably one of the most boring people alive. He just is a professor. You find a Rate My Teacher page, which talks about him constantly going to the same boring cafes and having coffee on his own and feeding pigeons, and that's about it.
Okay. The thing that's going through Dante's mind right now is when they first met Midas Fear, Niles said we were told to contact you. So that means, in his mind right now, that means the archives were told to contact somebody. They also contacted Ruby Stone Security. So what the fuck is going on there? Yeah, I'm gonna look at the deal online between Ruby Stone Security and the archives and what's going on. Like, who's Ruby Stone?
You look up who Ruby Stone are. Ruby Stone are a famous security group in the city who have run multiple security gigs for various things. There's multiple articles against them. One of them, written by Zyra Shah, which talks about how they have a history of being overly aggressive, violent, and have had multiple suing cases against them, which every single one of them has dropped out of court.
I feel like I already know the answer to this question, but who's the owner?
The owner is a man by the name of... I'm gonna give you this for free, but the owner, from what you can tell, is a man by the name of Gasper LeSean.
Okay.
And he, as you look up his profiles online, is pictured multiple times on a ship called the Spirit of the Sea, hand in hand with a man named Anton Lynch.
Of course. All right, with that, Dante will go to sleep because there's a conversation in the morning and then lectures.
Okay. Right. I need everyone to roll me D100s.
Oh boy.
37.
98.
What's the command for roll 20 again?
Oh, you can click the die in the top left corner.
There it is.
Freaking free.
Over it, it gives you an option to click the D100.
There we go.
Am I ready for this?
All right.
Okay. You can hear it. The storm is coming. The torrent of rain in the distance. It is crashing into the water and it is getting closer. You stand on a body of flat water. Black. You turn and look at the black sky and the black water beneath you, and you see standing around you various other individuals. Ned Halford is there. Maddie Nealon is there. Nahia what's your second name? Castellano. Castellano is there. Elizabeth Weiss is there. And Dante Coleman is there. There are others too. But you're not certain who most of them are. You're all standing on water, flat and calm, but the storm is coming now. As you stand there, looking from one to another, you turn and you see that Elizabeth Weiss has slipped beneath the surface. Slowly after her, Maddie slips beneath the surface too, the water surrounding her. After that, Ned, then Nahia, and finally Dante is left alone. You watch as to your right, the form of, first the Hound, then after it James Candle, slip beneath the water one after the other, and you are left alone. The storm is coming, and he is watching you with blind eyes. You wake up. As the morning comes past...
Can I try something?
Yeah.
Can I try something? Can Dante try something in that moment?
Go for it.
Here's my thinking. I've done drugs, and I've done lucid dreaming under drugs. And I know that in dreams, if you believe something absolutely, and if you disbelieve the opposite of that, of absolutely, it happens. I want to know how much control I have here.
Okay.
I want to know how much.
What role do you think this is?
Investigate, maybe? Hit with all you've got? Change the game?
I'm going to say change the game. I'm going to say
Change
change the
the
game. I can't see it being anything else other
I'm
than
gonna
change the
say,
game.
and Dante will just, I don't believe they fell through. I believe they're still beside me. All of them. And I just believe that. That's looking at things at another angle, isn't it?
I don't know, thinking of things with another angle. Okay. Well,
what else is there? This is completely illogical. I think this is the only thing that applies. And also maybe commanding presence to basically reassure myself.
Commanding presence
to believe
is not
something.
No.
To believe on myself. To believe
can
something.
Can you be commandingly
absolutely.
present to yourself?
Yes.
Yes, you can.
You can slap yourself and say, "Yeah, let's go."
Okay, give me a roll.
Give you a roll. Change the game. There we go.
Well, that's a great success. You realize. So your question was, do you have any control here, right?
Yeah.
First of all, I'm going to tell you that you at the moment you don't. With this change the game, you will find out a couple of things. All of you are, by the way, you are beneath the surface as this is happening. Sucked beneath into the dark water. Elizabeth, this is frighteningly familiar for you. There is definitely something commanding what is happening to all of you in your dream right now. And you can tell, Dante, that it is enjoying it. And as you say that, though the storm continues to bear down, what is your change the game? What would you like to do?
I'm gonna give everyone a status 1, which is above water, and then I'm gonna scale up the effect to everyone.
You do that as you extend your hands outward. Everyone who is just their lips
I don't.
just
I
below
just
the
smoke.
surface. You smoke. Everyone, you feel yourself surging slightly upwards as your lips break the surface as you let out a and as you do, the blind eyes sort of focus, and it is very unimpressed. You each wake up in the morning.
I don't care about impressing it. I was trying to find something out.
The half light of morning is easing through the clouds as you each begin to ease up. Elizabeth, you wake up next to Alison. She is snuggled against you, her arm wrapped tightly around you, as if she is terrified that you might leave her grasp. As you wake, she does not wake. She's exhausted at this point.
I think it's that recognizable moment where you lie in bed and you're awake. You're not sleepy anymore, like you don't need to go to sleep, but you don't have the energy to get out of bed yet. So I think while Allison is still sleeping, she lays there for a good solid 15 minutes as she just stares up at the ceiling, and then about halfway there, she stops and turns and just looks at Allison while she's sleeping. And after about 50 minutes of that, she'll slowly dislodge.
You sleep like that for a while, and then you look at Alison, and she definitely looks more ruffled than you've seen her in a while. This is a woman who routinely goes out to be a doctor and to be a surgeon, you know, regularly do one of the most stressful jobs there is. She's never seemed this frazzled. As she lies, you try to pull away from her, and her arms almost tighten for a bit, and you have to almost slightly struggle out of them before her arms break free, and immediately she sort of curls up in her sleep, like she's a little uncomfortable now that you're gone. But you step out of the bed. And what do you do?
First of all, as I walk through the house on my way
head
downstairs.
Downstairs.
Oh, wait. I just want to clarify, as I walk through the house to make my way downstairs, any kind of dirty laundry or stuff like that that's still on the floor from like Allison last night, I'll kind of take out of the way.
Okay. You do that. Your arms full of dirty laundry as you make your way downstairs. And as you reach the bottom of the stairs, you turn and you see that asleep on your couch, curled up in a ball. Probably, I imagine, do you still sleep in your clothes? Do you...
I'm not curled up. I sleep where I was sitting. I was just like my head's on my own shoulder. I'm just asleep sitting.
Dante fucking Coleman.
Fully clothed. Blanket there, but I imagine untouched, or is it on
Laptop
you?
open.
Head on the side and asleep. We're going to leave you guys there and jump across to Nahia. You wake up next to Kingston, his sort of arm under your head. You're not sure how long it took you to get home. It's sort of like a bit of a blur, but you got home. What are you doing today?
Today, well, what day of the week is it?
We are now on Wednesday.
I'm making up a sports schedule as I mentally go. I'm gonna say this is a day off for them.
Okay.
This is like a rare. So she was like, this. She was planning to sleep in. She was like, had to go to a cemetery. Horrible. So being woken up early was not part of the plan. I think similarly to Elizabeth, she just kind of lays there for a little bit, kind of in hopes of, like when you have a bad dream and you're like, wow, that sucked. And you're like trying to like bring sleep back to you, and it's just not working because everything you just saw is just painted on the back of your eyelids.
Mm.
And I feel like that's what she's going through right now.
Mm. You begin to ease up in the morning, that feeling overtaking you. Kingston's still beside you, sort of his arm under your head, dozing still sort of a little bit. Usually Kingston gets up very early in the morning to exercise, but you both sort of sense that this is a day for you to chill, and as morning comes, you take it a bit easier. Eventually he eases up and heads down and begins cooking up breakfast of a bit less than your usual 12 eggs, probably 6 eggs this time. Okay.
Yeah, I think she'd wait for him to get up, and then she'd wait a little longer. Again, still that kind of like lingering hope of maybe I can catch a little more sleep. And then yeah, she'd go downstairs for breakfast.
Okay. Maddie Nealon, what kind of version of how do you wake up and what do you like?
Right. Maddie is going to, well, she's used to hot dreams and tends to not read into things, so she isn't really all that focused on the dream itself. So she's going to prepare some breakfast. It's mac and cheese, toss in some bacon. And she is going to take one of her many phones and call Dante.
Okay. So as Elizabeth, you come down the stairs and see Dante asleep on your sofa. Dante, in your pocket as you are asleep, your phone goes off.
I'm not a sound sleeper, I'm afraid.
Oh.
So, yeah, I'll open my eyes.
Just an FYI, I think Elizabeth saw that, but he's asleep, so she will just like have continued on into the hallway.
Gotcha.
So she's not standing there watching him.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Okay. Elizabeth moves
Yeah.
on.
Coleman! Any luck finding Elizabeth?
He looks at. Are the doors like frosted glass or something? Can I see him moving?
You can tell that you've felt a presence moving past, and you can sort of tell it's not Allison. So you can tell she's probably up and awake. I mean, it's pretty. There's when can you tell it's a person? You've just got a feeling. It's just there.
No.
You don't have that? Jesus.
I tell Maddie no.
Oh, okay.
Ah. Alright. Need any help? I mean, I've looked...
No, it's another day. I'll just resume it.
Right. Just wanted to let you know that we have been looking for the grave of Edith Cole.
No names.
Find anything.
You should know better.
Who cares? I'm tossing the phone away anyways. But yeah, didn't find any. Any ideas what we should do next?
Yeah, but all of it in person, yeah? I still have classes today.
Right.
We'll talk after.
Right. See you at... Also, name a time.
I'll ring back. Yeah?
Right. And she...
Stay safe.
Yeah, you too. Good luck. She hangs up.
Okay. You hang up. As you leave it, Ned, you wake up to your phone buzzing.
Yeah.
Hello, Ned.
I forgot.
It's
But yes,
Arabast.
it's you. That guy. What's up?
That guy? You're really gonna call... Wow.
You're the one guy who... What?
I thought we were closer than that.
Alright. Arabast. You know a lot of names, right? The name guy.
Yes.
So I wanted to ask you. Do you know? Ever heard of someone called West? Just the name West.
West. My, many, many, many fingers and many pies, Mr. Halford.
I love the taste of pie, and people keep leaving it on windowsill.
That was a fake laugh.
Gee, man, thanks. Anyway,
Well,
what do you know about him? I know the name and nothing else.
I've know very little. Famous artist, something along the line of Banksy. Rather weird, from what I can tell.
Okay.
Listen, my dear. I'm not calling to talk about obscure artistes. I'm talking about real art. You're still on for the fight we discussed?
Yes, I'm just to make sure I'm not in the fight, right? I'm not fighting.
Of course
It
not.
would be okay. It'd be
What
really
do you
awkward.
take me for? I'm not going to put you in the fight. You're an untested individual. You'd be terrible. No.
I would.
No. You're coming up to the winner's box with me. You're going to meet some interesting individuals. You see, I think you're a man of taste, Mr. Halford, and I think we can build something especially interesting together. But first, we have to judge the competition.
I understand. I'm very excited to rub some magical elbows once I'm
Good.
there.
You've ever been in a council-organized situation like this before?
I guess. I
That's
wasn't
a
invited.
no. Okay.
Wasn't invited the last time.
Dress
just
your
saying.
best.
always
Allude to your other side with your costume. People always love that. Adds a layer of mystique and, well, sort of je ne sais quoi about it.
I will. I will also be
Something golden.
as we did. Of course, as we discussed, I will be inviting maybe 2 or 3 friends to come along with me. Of course, if they can't.
They
sit in the winner's
cannot
box,
sit in the winner's box with us,
I
but they
completely
are
understand.
welcome to patrol with the other normal people. If that suits.
This is in 2 days, correct?
Well, there's been a bit of confusion due to the coming storm. There's been some rearranging of times. It seems that the best time we're going to go for is this Friday, right before the storm begins. So, 2 days' time.
Okay, when you say storm, are you talking about like a regular people storm or like a
Have
magic
you not been
storm?
reading the news, Mr. Halford? The storm coming.
Is there a hold up? Give me a second. Is there like a newspaper near me or something?
You turn and you see that there is a newspaper at the door that's been pushed through the letterbox. And you sprawl open and you see that the storm that was announced yesterday has been upgraded today.
Oh my god, they updated the storm. 2.0 now. What is this?
Yes, well, it's one of the largest ones Scotland's ever seen. But who cares, really? Weather is the most boring of dinner time conversations.
Whether that's true or not, I think. Sorry, I think we should show up to at Friday, and I am excited to come there. I hope you like my costume, whenever I decide to make it. And why did you call me so early in the morning?
Well, I'm sitting here in front of the betting slip, and I realized you don't have one because you're not, well, in the inner circle yet. I was wondering if you were willing to put down a bet. Was the big fight tonight? I thought it would be an interesting one. Just thought I might let you know. Also, I was concerned about you. You haven't called me in a while, and this fight's awfully big, and want to make sure you're okay.
I'm doing okay. No need to worry about me. If I wasn't doing okay, then I would call. I There's only one fight, or there's only one
Well, there's
fight
only
that's
one
being
fight
bet
that
on.
matters. There's only
And
one
what's
fight.
that?
Well, it's Jaguar versus Razor. Of course, we don't use real names. So, you want some information on them?
Sure.
Hedge your bet either way.
Tell me about this Jaguar and this Razor.
Jaguar, not from here. From America or somewhere like that. Bit of a rough sort. Seems like he's spent some time on the streets, gotten in rough with some individuals. He's a tough old one. Bit on the older side, though. Not quite young as Razor, but he's got a bit of ferociousness to him. A bit wild. From what I can tell, his mythos is one that is quite impressive to behold when it takes hold.
I see.
Razor, a much younger individual, faster too, a good record. No failures, no pleading for his life. He seems to have gotten through off all wins so far, and rather brutal, from what they say. But simplistic.
Well. Does the bet need to be placed now, or can I see them physically?
Well, if you want me to put it down for you.
I think I'd rather put it myself.
Okay, very well. I'm putting down 500,000 on Razor, but if you feel like you want to join in, give me a call.
I know the number. Thank you.
Oh, yes, and these friends. Keep them under control, yes? It's a polite dinner party. I mean, it's a polite occasion. You need to be presentable, at least make them wear something nice.
All the bloodshed will be in the ring, don't worry.
Wonderful. Until we see again.
No problem.
Goodbye, Mr. Halford. We're going to make some wonderful things together.
I hang up on him, hear the beep, put him in my pocket, and just go, that greasy fuck. What is with this man? So slimy. Oh god, good. And just fucking walk around the room, just like, fucking... This guy is like every agent that before Todd came along. What the fuck is happening here? Alright.
In the shower. White lips, pale face, breathing in the snowflakes.
White lips, pale face. That sounds familiar. Okay. Fucking. Yeah, that's what I do. And I spend my morning hanging out with Todd once he gets out of the shower. And I shower too.
Okay. Right. Maddie, after you finish your call with Dante, what are you doing?
Right. Naturally, I eat my breakfast. Get ready for a day of, well, fuck all, really. She doesn't have much to do. You know, she is going to. No, I don't think she.
Okay, I better say this now then, guys. Okay.
Yeah.
So, to give you an idea of the timeline,
Yeah.
you have today is the 1st of April, which is a Tuesday. No, sorry, Wednesday. It's Wednesday, sorry. Today's a Wednesday.
Is it Tuesday?
It's a Wednesday. Well, Tuesday was yesterday. Sorry. Today is a Wednesday, the 1st of April. You have until this weekend that the storm arrives this weekend. Ned's fight is the day before on Friday, so you have today and tomorrow.
Yeah.
For whatever you want to do, basically.
Right.
If you want to investigate the case, you can do that. If you want to do downtime, you can do that.
Just a question. What is the typical Ullmanoch storm protocol, and do we know?
Oh, the typical,
that's a good
the
one.
typical Scottish. I mean, from what you twitch on the news now, and the usual storm protocol is go about life as normal. It's a storm. We'll deal with it. Just don't go out in boats. This storm protocol, the government issue is saying, stay inside, stay have a phone with you, and just sit it out. Make sure you have enough food. Sit out the storm. Don't go outside.
I
I mean,
think.
I don't think you need to ask what I and at least Guru at this moment are going to do.
Yeah.
I think you don't need to ask.
But I know what Maddie's going to do since it's April Fools.
Not
She
April
is
Fool's yet.
going.
It's April 1st.
Yeah, that's April Fools.
April Fool's is April 3rd, isn't it?
No, it's April 1st.
Oh, I thought it was April. Okay, all right.
No,
Yeah.
he's fooling you because it's April Fool's.
Yeah, now who's the fool?
You.
She is going to explore her mythos, as in she's gonna go. Yeah, she is going.
How are you doing that?
Yeah, she's gonna take a. She's going to the local. Let's say like the bus station, not like a place where you would get on the bus, but like where all the buses are stationed.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna sneak in there, and she is going to try and make it so that as many buses as she can lay her hands on are going to break down today. Just really mess with some people's days. And as she's doing so, yes,
Okay.
yeah. So that is her way of trying to learn more about her mythos.
Right. Okay. Let's do this as. Are you feeling like doing a check for this? Or are you feeling like how are you feeling in terms of this?
Well, if we're gonna go with montage rules, I don't think
But I don't want to leave this in your hands. Like, do you want this to be a bit of a struggle? Like, this is narratively. Do you want this to be a bit of a struggle? Do you want this to just be something that Maddie's just doing?
I think it would be just something
Okay.
she's doing, and
Okay.
she's going to spend like the rest of the day until she's called by Dante, trying to look for the results of this. Just
Okay.
going through town, looking for broken down buses.
So you hit the local bus stop. So the local bus like station thing. It's not hard for you to break in. The wire mesh of the guardrail around here rips like to your hands like paper. Like it's just and rips straight through it. You find yourself in there with the various different buses all being sort of left behind one by one, as buses are a lot slower at this sort of time of day. There are still people hanging around, and you have to be relatively careful. I'm going to say, with the fact that it is a working day, but with the time of the day it is, I'm going to say you managed to damage at least 6 buses as you move between them, slipping beneath the surface and just tearing at the bits and pieces underneath, doing immeasurable damage to these buses. You continue on, and as you do, you just enjoy the pure ecstasy of breaking something that someone put work into. It's kind of, it's fuck the system, but it's not just fuck the system. It's like fuck all of it. And as you tear into the undersides of these buses, damaging one after the other, you come out of it feeling elated and also sated at the same time. What would you like to know?
Ooh. Would just doing this be a lasting enough effect for me to grow in my mythos, or do I need to?
You know what? I think yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
All
gonna say
right.
yeah.
Lovely, lovely. Gonna keep that in the back of my mind.
But obviously, the more you do it, the harder it's going to be, going up. Okay. Inside the house of Elizabeth Weiss, Dante has just put down the phone. And somewhere in the kitchen, Elizabeth is doing what she's doing.
Making breakfast for Allison.
Yeah, I put the phone back in my pocket, close the laptop. I make sure before I get up, I make sure I scrub my activity from the laptop. Just so it doesn't come back to Allison. Then I walk towards the kitchen. Just get in. Stand there for a couple of seconds. Again, breathe a sigh of relief seeing her in person, actually, that it's her there. I don't know if like your back is turned to me cooking or whatever.
Yeah, and she'll speak up. I know I was expecting for the first time to see you in my house, I would have at least invited you over.
Yeah. Sorry. I was worried.
Do you want eggs?
Yeah, thanks.
She'll grab a couple more and put them in there.
You're upset with me.
Am I what?
Are you upset with me?
Look, Dante, do I have a reason to be upset with you?
I don't know. Maybe. I can't tell these days. Some days I think I'm probably a terrible friend. Then again, I've been terribly out of practice.
She'll frown for a second and then turn her attention back to breakfast and say, Allison likes her scrambled. How about you?
However you want. Whatever's easiest. It's just food.
Right. And no, you are not a terrible friend or whatever.
Okay. Are you alright?
She'll halfway turn around with the spatula in her hand and say, why are you in my house?
You missed about a few dozen calls. Last time it happened, well, it turned out alright. This time I didn't trust it, so I started looking for you. I eventually found you. So Allison, we talked a bit. She invited me in. It was quite late by that time.
Right, well, I'm sorry I missed those calls.
Dante's sort of like looking at it with a bit of doubt and like slightly squinting. Your car's still at the university.
Yeah, it is. I'm not gonna go there today, though.
Okay. I know you've left with Niall.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
What is it? Come on, Dante. Am I
You have something to
agitating you?
say. No, you have something to say. Just say it, please.
They have something to say. Well, yeah, sure. I died, Dante. How about that? That's a great Wednesday evening, right? And now I'm here making fucking scrambled eggs for my wife that is totally upset, and I have to explain things to her when she wakes up, and I don't know how I'll explain what happened. I don't even know half of what happened last night.
I see. I think, first of all, your wife cares about you very much. And you can make her understand, yeah? Look, I lied to my ex, I don't know how many times by the end of it. I had to. I convinced myself I had to. But the reality of it is, it was easy. It was expedient. She didn't want to hear the truth, yes. The lying to her seemed like the natural course.
Just stop it for 1 second. All right? Just stop it. I'm not going to lie. I'm not planning to lie to her. That's not what I'm concerned about here.
I know.
I'm not concerned about telling her anything. I'm concerned about that I fucking died because of what we're doing right now. And if she hadn't been there, I would have been dead and she would have been alone in this house. And she wouldn't be sleeping upstairs right now. She would be crying because she didn't know what happened. I'm not gonna lie to her. I don't fucking care about that. She can know everything as far as I'm concerned. But when I was down there in the cold water, not breathing, the only thing I could think about was how I disappointed her and how I wish they could have been better for her.
That's bullshit. I watched you walk through hell for that woman. And much like me, you had no choice but to walk through hell, but you still fucking did it. And I was right there with you, and I watched you fight for her day in, day out. You did not let her down, Elizabeth. I don't know what... You say you died. It's not quite fitting into my head right now, I'm sorry about that, but you've not let her down. I don't see how you convinced yourself you have. Perhaps she'll be more understanding than you think. Perhaps you need to be kinder to yourself.
She gives like a shaky, I don't know, shrug and puts down the spatula and just with both hands on the countertop, she gives like a sigh and raises her head again and says, "In one night, one fucking night, everything I believed to be true up until now was turned upside down. And I don't need to talk about it right now.
Okay.
That moment, you hear a on the door.
Which door?
The main door. Front door.
Front door, right. She'll put down the spatula. Oh no, she'll hold it, walk past Dante, put the spatula in his hands, and say, "Take care of the eggs," and walk over to the front door.
You move past the front door,
Right.
noting...
Dante, as soon as that happens, something clicks in Dante's head. He's like, wait.
She'll turn to him and give a questioning look.
You say you died. How? Elizabeth.
Look, don't Elizabeth me right now. You're asking someone how they died. I
If
think
somebody-
I'm allowed a second of silence.
Yes, but listen, if somebody wanted you dead, there's an argument to be made that maybe you should stay dead. That's your main door.
She'll hold out a hand for the spatula.
Fuck it, you know best. And he'll take it.
Oh, no. She gave
Oh.
it to you. She passed you. She
So
stopped
she
in the
wants it
hallway
back.
to look at
She
you.
wants it back. Yeah.
No.
Sorry.
She wants it
She's
back.
looking back at you.
He'll hand it back.
Give it back.
He'll hand it back.
Right. With the other hand, she'll make...
Actually, no, he won't. What he'll say is like, I'll take care of the eggs. And he'll just keep cooking them anyway. You
What?
can stay, but no, like he
There's
convinced you
still
to-
someone at the door.
Yeah, and
Oh,
Elizabeth
I need
doesn't
to
know
answer.
who-
Alice-
She's offering
okay.
for you to answer.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
all right. Well, Dante will just go to the door and open.
Okay.
Well, I look. Is there like a peephole?
Yeah, there is.
Who is there?
You see a gigantic torso.
Ah, lovely. I open the door.
Standing outside and looking incredibly sheepish and incredibly nervous is Tristan. His head is slightly down. His hands are like in front of his chest and he's holding something there. And he looks back and forth and he sees you. He sort of, his eyes narrow a little bit and he goes,
First of all, Dante will sort of like get up on his like tiptoes, look behind his shoulders if anyone else is there.
you look,
Then I'll,
you down on your tiptoes and look behind him. It's an empty street. Except for a woman who's walking a poodle, and the poodle has decided to stop and not do the walk anymore, and she's like, Aretusa, come on! And the dog just refuses. Aretusa!
what's in his hand?
He refuses.
What's in the man's hand?
His hands are too big for you to see currently, but he has something there.
Is that for her? Right. It's impolite to close the door on your face. Come in.
He shakes his head and takes a step back from the door.
What's going on, mate?
Can I hear any of this from the
You
kitchen?
hear, yeah, you can hear it from the kitchen.
So I can hear the grunts.
You can hear, I'm gonna say you can hear Dante talking. The grunts are a bit too quiet to hear. But you hear Dante talking.
But he seems to be talking to someone
Seems at
familiar
ease.
in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he seems at ease. So, silently behind him, I think Elizabeth will walk into the hallway.
He sees you walk into the hallway, and at once he stops dead. Sort of becomes very rigid. And just holds out a hand. There's something about his hands. They're huge and meaty. They're the kind of things that could break bones and beat faces into pulp. But they are very gentle. As he holds out his one big palm, and slowly his fingers uncurl one after the other, and reveal a very small little wooden carving, and you can see that it seems like he has broken a section off of your bush outside, one of your hedges, and has just carved it into this. And there's a little dog carved on his hands.
She'll walk past Dante.
I mean, I'll cede way. I want to just stand between you two. I'll move around, move away.
He's standing outside, but reaching this like inwards, right?
He's not reaching his hand into the doorway. His hand does not pass the threshold of the doorway.
Right. She'll walk up to the door, take, like, put a hand above his and tentatively take the wooden carving without touching him.
As you take it, his eyes dart to the damaged doorway he ran through and the dog, and you take this as his version of payment for that. His hand closes and he brings it back in. He looks to you, nods, looks to Dante, nods, and turns and starts to walk back down the driveway.
Hey, Tristan, wait. If you want, I could at least give you some breakfast. You could eat outside on your own. It's the least I could do for you coming here right now. You don't need to come inside if you don't want to. I'm not gonna force you to do any of that, but it's...
He looks right and left and meets your gaze and very slowly just goes,
Come on, mate. You can't work all night on an empty stomach.
give me a convince check. And I'm gonna give
Which
you a
one of
minus.
us?
I'm gonna give you a -2. Whoever wants to make it. Who wants to make
I'll
it?
make it.
No, actually, if Dante says he wants to make this convince, and I'm even gonna give him a hurt point if he wants to do that.
Ooh.
Why?
Because the moment you just said this, the next thing Elizabeth would have said was, "Don't push him. He doesn't have to."
Oh, you can just tell me this and I'll stop.
Right.
Okay.
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 So all right.
He stops. Sort of shakes his head slowly. Goes,
Is it okay if we bring some to you? All right. All right. No pressure, mate.
Thank you for the carving.
looks suddenly embarrassed. And very slowly sort of turns on his heel and walks away. Okay. I'm going to jump into a bit more general thing now, because you now have, each of you have 2 days. You can do with these 2 days what you will. I'm going to say this is a kind of in between a montage and between something else, as these 2 days obviously are quite important. They have repercussions for what you choose to do. What do you do with your 2 days?
I still need to have that conversation. I'm not gonna just skip forward in time.
No. I just
Yeah,
so I want to know in general though, like what are people's plans in general?
I want to go to sleep.
Yeah.
But plans in general is talk to Dante, talk to wife,
Okay.
get things sorted out. I'm not gonna go to university or anything like that.
Gotcha. Okay, Ned, what are your plans in general? Just so I can know.
Prepare for the storm because I don't trust it. I know this shit is magical. I know that something is gonna happen, and this is brought on by some whatever the fuck is happening to the fisherman. Okay, but in character, it's just Ned doesn't trust the fact that that was the guy that told him about it. It's like this gotta be related.
Oh no, it's all over the news. It's all over the newspapers.
Fine, I prepare for
Yeah.
the storm, but in the back of my head, I'm like, this shit's magical, and I know it.
Okay.
I'd
Nahia.
like to use
Oh, yeah,
one
go
day
ahead,
to
yeah.
prepare for that.
Okay.
That's
Nahia.
it.
Because obviously she was one of the ones that said yes to joining Ned.
Yeah.
I think she's got kind of a bad feeling about this. Seems every other time she interacted with Rifts, it's always been negative, except for the little group. And even then.
Okay. That's
So
bad.
I think she is going to be. Sorry, I also got asked about a meeting. She is going to be. I don't want to say like fully like training up,
Okay.
but I think she's trying
Okay.
to see a little more what she can do.
You're exploring your mythos. Okay.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Maddie, you're exploring your mythos at the same time on day one, basically.
True, yeah. But other than that, she wants to keep, keep like short lines on the others. Like she wants to keep contact at a maximum. She wants to
Okay.
keep things going, you know.
Gotcha. Okay. There is a storm brewing outside Ullmanoch. The seas churning, the skies warping. Something that climatologists cannot explain. It is coming towards Ullmanoch, and it is going to hit soon. As this goes on, a man they call Fear is sitting in a room. Rather drab room. Rather boring room. There's a piano to one corner that hasn't been touched in a long time. Notes on a book that was never finished. Pictures on the wall of a couple who were happy once. He is chewing his way through a ham and cucumber sandwich, and he's very bored when his phone goes off. He picks it up slowly, and the voice that comes through is nervous, extremely nervous. This person does not like talking to Fear. It is always a scary event for him. One of them been looking into you. I saw there were searches online. It's come from the Weiss house. The Weiss house. That's interesting. What were the searches for? Just everything about you. I'm not really sure of the details, but... Do you want me to send someone? No. He turns and he looks to the 6 cases behind him. The ones he took from the archive last night. Each one of them, a head contained within. Each one of them ready to go to where he's planned to go. No. I'm far too busy. After all, I have to look my best. Across from him, a drab burgundy suit hangs from a clothesline opposite a mirror. He stands slowly running the ribbon through his fingers casually. There's a man they call Fear, and he's been waiting for this day for a long, long time. And that's what we're going to tonight.
Fuck yes!
Oh yeah.
Fuck yeah.